This week has been insane.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even realize when I sat down to do WAN show today how insane this week had been. I was sitting here going like, oh man, I'm really tired this week. Like, I'm kind of glad it's going to be a bit of a shorter show because I just like, I don't have the energy for it. And I was like, man, what did we get up to this week? Like, yeah, there's the Mighty Car Mods shoot. We had like a bunch of other shoots. I reviewed a lot of scripts and videos and like, dude, I went to Equinix.
Equinix?
Yeah.
What's that?
So they build themselves as the biggest tech company nobody ever heard of, which you've heard that line. You've heard that line before, right?
Yeah.
They may actually be right. They might actually be the ones.
Yeah, I know of Equinox, not Equinix. How do you even spell it?
Here, EQUINIX.
An IX, okay.
Yeah.
Data center company and enterprise network technologies. No, you would think this would be something that I've heard of.
You would think so, but these guys operate at a completely different level. They don't give two flying...
Leading companies choose Google Cloud, Azure, AWS, Netflix, Zoom. Okay,
they don't give two flying boogers about Flowplane.
Okay,
we are just a shit stain on the back of their heel because they walked through the bougie park next to their penthouse they live in.
Right.
Like we don't matter to these guys.
Wow.
I mean, I shouldn't say that because they did sponsor the video, and so we did a tour. Dude, this place was flipping wild. And the reason they actually showed up on my radar was because I found out that they were planning to use the Deep Lake cooling system in Lake Ontario to cool a data center.
Sick.
And I was like, that's neat. I don't know who these guys are, but let's get in touch.
Look at the partner list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there a large technology company in the Fortune 500? Well,
absolutely.
What about all of them?
Chatted out partner list. And what was cool about it was they went full open kimono. Like
sick.
Full. They literally showed me a room that if I walked any further into it and was caught on the motion sensors and cameras, there would have to be a report to the SEC that someone was in the room.
But you're allowed to look into
I was allowed to look into the room. We got a shot of the room.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. You know how when we do tours of factories and facilities and stuff, there's always no filming signs everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
They didn't have a single one. You know why? Because nobody would be fucking in there if they had a camera.
That's one way to do it.
They built this building custom. Okay. They built it so the foundation was feet above ground level. You know why?
Flooding?
Because the city wouldn't let them put bollards and truck stoppers around it because they're unattractive. So they made it.
Just built it on a platform.
So if you ram the building, you will literally hit the fucking foundation.
Okay. That is a solution.
Custom building. That's the way they did it. These guys are absolutely insane. Okay, so on the roof, okay? So you know the speed of light, right? It's as fast as stuff can go. But the speed of light's not fixed. Okay, Logitech demoed this years ago when they showed their Lightspeed wireless dongle actually outperforming a cable. Because the speed of light through an optical fiber or
any medium
through any medium is variable. So through an optical fiber, we approximate that the speed of light is about 2/3 of the speed of light in a vacuum. But in air, it's very close to the speed of light in a vacuum. It's like 0.997 or something. I can't remember what it is. The point is it's a lot more than 2/3. So get this. On the roof, they have microwave dishes that are pointed at the TSX and toward New York,
Toronto Stock Exchange,
where there are other exchanges. so that they have the lowest possible latency link, because light through a fiber optic cable is not fast enough.
That's pretty wild.
Dude, I saw a cage there that not only had all 4 sides closed, not only had visibility blockers installed in the cage, not only had the 5th ceiling chain link installed on the top, okay, because some companies will have regulations for particular data or particular operations that you have to have 6 sides, essentially, on the cage that can contain. Not only did it have all of that, it had touch sensors in the chain link.
Oh.
If you so much as
Touch the chain link.
if you so much as lean on their cage, the head of security for Equinix gets a call, and that will not be a good call.
No. That's so sick.
Dude, this place was wild, and they showed us everything. Absolutely everything. Nothing that they were not legally allowed to show us. They showed us everything Equinix. Nothing from their customers that they weren't allowed to show us. Yeah. But like they had an empty cage. So I was able to go in and like show how the cold aisle and hot aisle separation works. And like I held a temperature sensor and you could see it like open up the thing and like dump cold air on me. Yeah. So we were able to do really cool demos because they really did let us in. It's going to be probably one of the coolest videos we have ever done. Do not miss it. This is like actually for real, a data center. Like of the highest tier, like your bank and your ISP and the cloud services that you use.
Hey, your bank has that.
This is where they are.
That old Windows 98 system sitting in the corner.
So the room that you have to file an SEC report.
That's where all your passwords are stored.
If anyone so much as goes into it and approaches the rack, any guesses as to what's in there? The SEC is involved, so you know it has to do with exchanges and trading. I'll tell you that much.
I'm not even going to know like the names of different things, but I'm assuming it's the trading computers.
Nope, no computers.
No computers.
No, there's no computers. It's just because they would all have their own cages. They would have their own leased space and everything. They'd be caged off.
Wait, I thought this was. Did I miss something? I thought this was.
No, it's a room.
Oh, okay.
It's a room. It's just there's a room on the floor,
and there's no computers in the room.
No, there's no. They don't need computers in there. They don't need any computers for that.
What? I have no idea. At a data center, a room with no computers that if anyone goes into, the SEC has to be told. Records of some kind.
No.
No
records.
Networking? Would you not consider that computers?
Kinda. No gear though.
Yeah. No gear. What?
Spools of fiber optic cable.
And the SEC has to be told.
I've heard of this. It's the one that keeps all of the trading platforms fair, so you can't have shorter links. Everybody has to have the same length of cable. I saw a video of somebody had one in their building, and it was this giant spool, and it goes from the switch to like another switch, and it's just 30 kilometers of
So if someone's office
you can't have
is
less latency.
Away, they would have less spools in their room.
Because like nanoseconds matter in trading. Oh, that's sick. I'm so excited for this video.
Out, like the furthest you could be, and then everyone has to have that much.
That length of a fiber optic link.
Oh man.
Isn't that cool?
I feel like I've heard of this before, but just completely forgot. Someone said Tom Scott made a video on this. I probably watched that. It's probably old, and I probably forgot about it since then. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, very cool. So these aren't like kilometer-long spools here. These are just for fairness within this data center floor.
Okay, so different companies that are using this data center.
Yeah,
and then they
have to use that service. They have to use like that service that Equinix offers for the fair linkage, and that's something that like from a regulatory standpoint they have to subscribe to.
Yeah, and then Equinix themselves probably have a bigger one that also does the building, I'm assuming.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know because it's going to depend on the setup. Like it's going to depend what partners are in there and what they need.
Yeah, I'm just making an assumption. Yeah.
But oh, dude, this place, and I haven't given away the whole video. Like this place is flipping wild, and I was joking with them. I was like, yeah. So when we did the Intel Fab Tour, they kind of quipped to me that the last person they could remember giving this level of access to was then President Barack Obama, and I told the anecdote because I kind of wanted to see their reaction, and they were kind of like, I don't know. I can't think of anyone we've ever done this with. Because remember, they're not just showing me around a little bit. Like, they had an entire entourage there with us. They had like their head of, oh man, I'm going to get this wrong. His title's like head of, what's up?
Jimmy, so now you have one thing in common with Obama.
Nice. Me, Obama, and Taylor Swift. We like birds of a feather, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, what was I going to say? Right, so they didn't just like show us around. We had, his title. He was like the head of like global architecture solutions or something like that, but in Canada. So he was like the Canadian head of it, but like globally. So like any Canadian based multinational he like deals with. So essentially, he's like a global architecture lead guy, but like Canadian based or something like that.
For Equinix?
Yeah, for Equinix.
Okay,
yeah. So they had him there. They had a bunch. They had, as far as I could tell, head of security. Like, I don't know if that was for the country or just like at all. But he looked like a head of security, and super smart. The guy just like knew everything off the top of his head, like every customer, like everything. Guy was chatted out. It might have just been for that center, but I don't know. But they had the head of security there. Dude, these guys are crazy. So they not only like showed us around or whatever, but they were there to answer basically any question we had. I asked how much loading per square foot each floor was designed for. I wasn't expecting them to give me that. That is that's a spec of their building design. Like,
did they just know it?
And they knew approximately offhand, and then found out and like told me. And I was like, oh, okay. There's 6 feet of concrete between every floor. The place was crazy. Dude, you wouldn't believe the conduit runs. It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty.
You know you're a nerd when you... I enjoy that as well, just to be clear. But you know you're a nerd when you get excited about the conduit runs.
But yeah, so and we were in there filming everything, right? Like they were like, yeah, I just don't think we've ever done this. Like, oh, okay, cool. And they might have at some point, maybe whoever I was talking to didn't remember. Or whatever,
are you worried about like revisions to the video because they noticed something or whatever?
No, because a lot of their building is designed to be security first. So because they're going to have third-party people visiting their own cages or whatever else, it's designed so that they can't see or touch or do anything they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
So everything that Equinix showed us was Equinix stuff, and everybody who approved that was literally standing there in our group as we went around. So it was one of those situations where like it was a sponsored video, but like I'd have done it anyway. Like 100%. And they didn't even, I think the only couple of things they asked for because I went through the script with them, they asked for a couple of things. I said they operate over 250 data centers worldwide, and they were like, okay, we understand 250 is a kind of nicer, rounder sounding number. We understand why you did that, but can you say over 260? And I was like, okay. Right? Who cares? Right? Like I'm not gonna dig in my heels.
So they're already doing the specifics while you're live.
Minor details like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
I just mean like they didn't ask me to change my voice, or my thoughts, which I guess is like fine because realistically I was just nerding out the whole time anyway. Mm-hmm. And there was stuff that I left out that they mentioned, like they had a lot of the initial briefing was about the like environmental impact stuff that they work on and initiatives like that, and I was like, I basically left out all of it because at the end of the day, it's already going to be over a 20-minute video.
Just so you know, we just released 2 videos on processors that are really power efficient. People cared a lot.
Yeah. And so I get that, when people go on Equinix's website, that needs to be the first thing that they see. And I understand the importance of that stuff.
Yeah,
they do seem to legitimately put a ton of very real work into being a more sustainable company, which is great. But it isn't why people tuned into this video.
Doesn't get a lot of views.
And I need to be focused on what people clicked this video to see, And so I took a lot of that stuff out, and they were like, okay. we want to let you be the expert. They suggested a bunch of like titles and thumbnails, and I like were geared up to have the talk, because brand suggestions for that stuff, they're never good.
They're usually terrible.
And I started talking, and they were like, just do whatever like gets lots of views. And I was like, okay,
sweet,
I will.
Nice.
So they just immediately back down. We're like, yeah, no, you're here because like that's what you do, and we're doing this because this is what we do. So yeah, you do your thing.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't know. I told the business team that basically I don't travel anymore. If a brand asks, hey, how much of a bag of money does it take to get Linus to travel anymore? And I just say no, right? But what I will travel for is something I like would have done anyway. If it's something that like ticks off something on my bucket list, I'll get on the plane. It's like, and I know I probably sound a little spoiled right now, but the reality of it is that I spent a lot of years traveling way too much. It was hard on my body. It was hard on my family, and the reduction in travel because of COVID really opened my eyes to, and not just mine, because I've always felt like, couldn't this just be a conference call? Like I've always had that mindset, but I think it opened a lot of people's eyes to how much of what we do in person could just be done remotely, and forced people to work around that nobody was really traveling. And my whole thing has been like, okay, well, why don't I just keep it that way? So I still do travel a little bit. I mean, I did Computex, I did CES this year. I'm going to do CES. I'll do Computex again. Obviously I did the Micron facility tour, but wouldn't you go to Micron?
Yes.
Exactly.
Why? Yeah, but I want to go everywhere.
No, that's true.
Why are you really going to Computex though, if we're being real?
To play badminton.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm going to CES because I just like should probably be there.
CES, yeah.
Yeah, CES. I hate CES. No offense if you live in fabulous Las Vegas, but it's not my kind of town. I like a book or an interesting article to read, and like a nice spot on the couch. Like that's my idea of a good time. I love stage plays.
Yeah.
I would do that. I'd hop down to Vegas to like watch a couple shows or something like that.
I do that when I travel.
But like in general, the Vegas vibe, not my thing.
I don't like Vegas.
Yeah. Sorry.
It is not a town made for either of us.
Yeah. And no judgment. If you're into Vegas, hey, you do you.
Go have fun.
Yeah. What are we supposed to be doing right now?
We should probably head into WAN After Dark.